Hello and welcome back to Lorehammer. We're back. Our batteries are fully charged, but honestly, who wants to read notes? I was having such a fun time doing battery bust episodes. I'm like, let's do a bonus episode. Bonus episode 42. We're just shooting the shit. And who's going to be taking shits with me? Christian.
Always a pleasure to join you in the bathroom on the toilet.
You ever see that the two toilets side by side, and then it's Gimli and Legolas taking a shit together? Side by side with a friend.
I love it. We're already double nerding. That's great.
Yeah. And we also got Court. I don't know. Are you standing on like the upper decker? Because there's only two toilets here, so you're joining us in the shit talking.
You can pee between your legs. Just
I will upper decker if we need to. That's fine.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, we're all here.
Battleships, anyone? Yes.
Battleships.
Battleships. I love the chat has already. We just started, and the chat has been going for some time now, and I'm like trying to catch up on what they were saying. This is rad, but it looks like there was a little bit of like just kind of hype on this episode and what's going on.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
People have been nervous. They don't know what they're gonna get with these battery bus episodes. Am I gonna make it? Are we not? I think overall, now that series is done and complete, I think we beat the batteries more often than we lost, but we did lose often. So
it's like the war against AI and the war against the Terminators. Like you win some, you lose some, but in the end, humanity will prevail.
In the end, I still needed batteries, and now I'm still living on battery power. So
okay. Like, so the machines won, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Right back to where I was in the first place. Excellent. Yeah, so this episode, we're just going to be hanging out. Some quick housekeeping before we kind of get into the delicious meat of it. Yeah, come join the Patreon. It's only a couple bucks. You can support the show. Or just, if you don't like the show, just give us money anyways. And if you give me enough money, I'll just retire. And then I won't do Lorehammer anymore. So.
And then you'll not do the show anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. That is the other option.
Pay Mark enough and he won't do it.
Yeah. So if you really don't like me, you have to give me a lot of money, and then I'll just retire on the island like I was supposed to. But yeah, you also get access to live stream and all that kind of stuff. It's a great time with the chat. Grimaldus is in there, Purge is in there, lots of friendly faces. Lupacall, always cool. All right. So, Court, Christian.
Yeah.
Let's go around the circle. Let's all start with one fun fact about ourselves, maybe.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll start. This is easy.
Yeah.
So fun fact. I attended Phoenix Fan Fusion this weekend, which is basically like Comic-Con for those who don't know. And it's been going on for quite some time every year. And it's right at that, like, it's really hot and you're sweating balls and you're kind of wishing you didn't dress up, but it's not at I'm going to kill everybody and I hate this godforsaken state heat. So it's right in that sweet spot. It's good.
Yeah.
No, it was a lot of fun. So I went Friday and Saturday. It was great. And so it was just a nice kind of like, I can just sit here and bask in fellow nerds. This is and I'm not the nerdiest here, and I'm certainly not the not nerdiest here. So it's again, I'm in that sweet spot. It was great.
Yeah.
And the second day, I didn't dress up. So I actually didn't dress up at all. But the second day, I got all of my like kind of like medieval stuff on. It was like cool, like black armor, and I was like, I had this like paint, kind of like war paint on my face, and I like.
You went hard. Up. Where are these pictures of this?
Okay, so I stood up and I was like, I'm ready to go. Here we are. And I was so fucking uncomfortable. Like, I was just like, I'm not going to last the day. This is going to be bad. So I was so pissed. I took it off, but I kept the cool war paint. And then I just like put on like we'll say like Court 2.0, where it's like Court, but just a little extra goth. And two times in the full day, someone was like, oh, I love your cosplay. That's really cool. Handsome Jack from Borderlands. And I was like,
no, just
I don't
me.
know what that is. But they're like, oh, well, you got to look it up. Like you could totally do it. And I was like, okay. And then a second time, like, oh, dude, Handsome Jack, Borderlands. I was like, all right, we're going with it. This is just me dressed up like on a Saturday though. So, but it was a really good time. I got to meet a really cool artist. His name is Luke Eidenschink, and he came out with a couple different comics, but one of them is called The Gauntlet here. Oh, yeah. So Mark just pulled up the pictures. As you can see, yes, there is a little bit of a resemblance, I would say, to Handsome Jack. So maybe
it's
that is the
goatee
cosplay of
for
choice.
sure. The nice hair. Yeah.
I could definitely do it next year if we need to. But got this rad comic, The Gauntlet, by Luke Eidenschink, and he signed it, which was cool. And then ran into Alex Brock, who's a really talented artist, and he's done cards for Magic, and he's done some other more notable stuff, but Magic was kind of the big one. And he did the main artwork for, if you're a Magic nerd like me, for Sauron, the Lord of the Rings, like the actual Sauron commander card. I'm trying to hold it up here, but it doesn't work very well.
Put your hand behind it and
see.
But yeah, he signed it to court, and I was like, "Oh, that's rad." And he's like a local artist. He's in Tucson, so he's only about 2 hours south of me. So that was pretty sweet. It was a great time. Hung out with all my, fun nerd friends. It was a blast.
Where did you say that was? That was which event?
Phoenix Fan Fusion.
Phoenix.
Yeah, it's basically Phoenix Comic Con. Although I think legally they can't call it Comic Con.
Okay. Did you play any games, or you just kind of hung out and just enjoyed the sights and smells?
Interestingly enough, not a lot of smells, which was good. But no, I just kind of hung out and was just walking around. It was great. I will say the highlight. Yeah, there it is. Mark's got it pulled up. It's everything you would want in like Comic-Con essentially, but in Phoenix. So they've got panels, they've got signings. I can't believe I forgot this though. This is the biggest thing. I went because all 4 hobbits from the Lord of the Rings were going to be there. And so on Friday, I walked around and I'm feeling the vibe. I'm psyched. I'm there with my partner. Like we're going to look at the hobbits. We're just going to look at them. That's it. Like I don't have $500 to spend on autographs or $800 on like a meet and greet thing. But Gimli is there too. So it's John Rhys Davies. The panel's literally it's actually I'm blanking on the dude's name and I forget. Chat could probably get at me, but it's the guy who played C-3PO. So it's the guy who played C-3PO, and then Anthony Daniels. Thank you. And then it's John Rhys Davies, and then it's I think it was Dominic Monaghan then, and then it was Jesus. Now I'm on the spot, but it's the 4 fucking hobbits.
Yeah.
But anyway, I look, and Elijah Wood catches eyes with me, and just for from a split second, and it was amazing. Billy Boyd, by the way. Yeah, so it was Billy Boyd, Dominic Monaghan, then it was Sean Astin, and then it was Elijah Wood, and then I peed a little, just a little. Then we got to see each of them and just look at them like 30 feet away and point at them. I'm like so excited. We're both just like super psyched. And I'm like almost about ready to leave. And then there's like a clearing where there's like an exit aisle and no one's walking through it. And they're not moving me along like, okay, sir, if you're not here paying $1,000, please move along. I was like, no. So I stare and I summon what I call the Stamos, which is there's another story that when we do like our Meet the Host episode, we'll talk about the John Stamos story with Court and his friend Andy at Disneyland. That will happen. Okay. I promise. But I summon the Stamos and I just kind of throw the vibe at Elijah Wood.
Notice me, senpai.
He turns and just like looks right at us. And I like wave and give him the peace sign. And he like waves and gives it back and smiles. Instant tears. I'm crying. Just boom. It was, it was good. It was so good. And that was the highlight. It was one of the coolest moments of my life. And
yeah, it was pretty cool.
It was amazing. So.
Yeah. Like, so were they really that short then? Like, I heard rumors in real life that they're not actually hobbits, but
I mean, compared to me, who's
that's just slander,
6'5", maybe. And yes, Grimaldus, I'm sure it was P. If it was Hugh Jackman, maybe not. You know, it could have been something else.
Yeah, then it's
Yeah.
yeah. It's in the name, I think, that one.
It's his Jackman. Yeah.
Yeah. But I did get to see some really cool like Warhammer stuff. So just bringing it back to 40K, like I saw some really cool like chain swords that were 3D printed. I saw some cosplays that Mark you could bring up maybe. I saw a dude in an Ultramarines outfit, which was pretty rad. But he couldn't move his arms, so like he couldn't touch his head. So his friend, who was like his little servitor, walking around with like, and he wasn't dressed as a servitor, but he was just like his little buddy. Like he had his helmet, so he would just like say like, "Do you need your helmet?" And he'd like nod, and then he'd put his helmet on his friend because he couldn't reach his head. But he looked so cool. But then we saw so that's the Ultramarine, and it was sick. Like it was pretty cool. Then we saw this woman who had an amazing Sisters of Battle, Adeptus Sororitas cosplay, and she had like the halo. So if you're on our Patreon, you can see the image here. But she had an LED halo around her head, and it was full on, like looked amazing. It looked so cool. And then there was like a bunch of 3D Primaris helmets that were printed. It was.
It's so crazy
solid.
the cosplays, how far some people can take it, man. Like, it's incredible.
Yeah, some cosplays nowadays like rival like movie, like what they can do. Can, like the technology they put into it, like masks that like open and it's crazy.
Very neat.
It's pretty cool. Anyways, that was my weekend. I also won a paint contest. Part of a paint contest. So that I think I told you guys a month ago that I'd submitted for a local game store's paint competition. So I got in my base range, which was 25 mil to like I think 50 mil. I won People's Choice. So I had the most votes of the public. So that was pretty cool. Yeah.
True winner.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'll post those in our Discord too.
That grot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was it was like the little grot riding the squig, but I painted it like the squig was like Lurtz from Lord of the Rings, and I did around the rim of the base. I did the full black speech of one ring to rule them all, one ring to find them, one ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them.
Yeah, even like the
so that literally completes
there.
It. Yeah.
Spicy.
So I'll post those on Discord for those who aren't on Patreon looking at it with us right now. But yeah, thanks.
To do like
I appreciate the shout out. So
to do that teeth, like the drool or whatever, is that just like glue?
Yeah, that's that Uhu glue or UHU glue. I don't know how you pronounce it, but yeah. It's like this German glue in a yellow tube, and you just kind of string it along and make it gross.
Yeah.
So but thank you guys. I appreciate all the thumbs up and all the congratses and stuff. It was cool. So I've talked a lot. Let's pass it on to Christian.
All right.
Hold on. Did you get a prize? Like, did you win a prize or just everyone liked your stuff? Leave.
So theoretically, I had a few issues with like the way they ran it. One wasn't the prizing, but they were like 4 days late on announcing it. They didn't know. There was a few other things that we won't get into, but like prizing seemed to be okay, but they haven't told us what we're winning. So it was supposed to be like $6 per entry or something in a pot, and you win part of it. But they haven't really officially said it. And they've also said like, hey, this was like the first time we've ever done this. So the prizing pot is a little bit low because of not that many entries. So we'll let you know. I'm like, okay.
Right.
So we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. And it has not been enough business days yet.
Apparently not. So
apparently not. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. But there were some really cool entries. It was there's a really cool 40K. I want to say it was like a repulsor tank, and this guy did like a full what do you call it? Like a like an action sequence. It's almost like a mural essentially on the side of the tank. It was gorgeous. But in the picture, like, hey, these are our contest winners. They showed it from the fucking front, so you couldn't even see that part. Like, all they did was just take a picture of the front of the fucking tank. You couldn't see it funny. Either. It's like just like what
how
they
did that
with
one
mine.
win? That's not that great.
I know. Yeah. Like with mine, they pictured it from the side, so you couldn't even see the fucking white hand of Saruman on the face. I was like, oh my gosh, you guys. Anyway.
Well, that's one person to add to the list, I suppose. Just add that whole convention to the list of people. They're added to mine now. I wish I could go to more events like that. Like that would be sweet. Like even in Calgary, like it really doesn't happen that often. And they're not big.
They do have the Comic-Con Expo, they call it here. I've never been, so I can't say how big it gets. They have had some high caliber celebrities, like a lot of the Lord of the Rings cast have been through here. But like I said, I've never been, so I can't say how big it really gets.
Sure.
But I just know it exists.
Yeah, let me say this from like an American standpoint, because I'm stupid. I'm a white male American, so I'm as dumb as they
Beautiful get. American.
Yeah. Like a bald eagle.
Yeah. You free this weekend? Brother, I'm always free. But like, I would say, and this is maybe just my viewpoint, but we as Americans view Canada as like the wild north. Like, I kind of know where Calgary is. I could kind of point, like, it's about over there. Like, I know where Toronto is. If you said Saskatchewan, I would say I don't believe in Bigfoot. So what? So
same squanch, yeah.
I gotta say, like, we just kind of don't really know where shit is.
I'll give you the quickest history or geographical lesson on Canada you need to know. All of Canada right now is inside Mark Carney's ass. So that's where we're currently at with our state of affairs up in Canada.
What do you mean ours?
Yeah,
Mark?
I was going to say, you are
That's not a you problem.
I'm still a Canadian citizen, and if you want to fight me for it, you can fucking take it from me. Fuck that country. It's
North
very
of
different vibe. It's crazy the scale of Canada compared to America. You know, you guys have like 350 million. I think we're at like 40 million, and like that's a crazy scale difference. I did a weird scale one in the Discord today or a couple days ago where Panama can fit in Alberta, the province I'm from, 9 times.
Wow.
So it's like there's some weird scaling issues, and but there's no people up in Canada, so you just don't fucking get any big stuff, anything cool up there.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, okay, Christian, what's fun fact about you? Because I chatted a lot. So fun fact about Christian.
Yeah, well, you start with the best. Now everything's just going to be lame.
And especially going to Christian, like, what are the fun facts about the guy? Like,
I've literally sat here waiting for the podcast to start since the last time we recorded.
Oh, God.
Just sits there.
Patiently waiting.
Ah, yes. Yeah.
I sure hope they come back this time. This is how Mark can't get rid of me, because I'm just always here. Yeah, I'm already
just in the you're in the back. Yeah,
I open up my laptop monitor. It's just always Christian's face. Hey, friend.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Yeah. Okay. So that's not the fun fact about you. That does not count.
I was hoping to distract with that, and then we'd move on. But,
no.
No, man. I honestly haven't done anything
fun.
Crazy. I just
ever.
Yeah. I've just been working and raising kids, man.
That's good.
Fun. Yeah.
Yes.
Any of your kids shown any interest in Warhammer yet?
Man, it's too expensive. I don't want to get them started on I can barely afford it for myself.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Yeah. My daughter though, she many years ago, Daddy has his hobby space that she's not allowed in, and she broke into it once and just covered so many of my Space Marines in what's that? It's not like an ink, but what's that, like really glowy green?
Oh yeah, Tesseract.
Yeah, Tesseract glow.
Oh, yeah.
She just covered like all my Chaos Marines in Tesseract glow.
Hell yeah!
Just all over the carpet, all over the floor, all over like tons of models.
See, she knows. She's like, these aren't Necrons. Get rid of this shit.
Yes. But no, they're pretty good about staying out of it now. That was just the one. It was a one and done incident.
Yeah.
But
What was her reason? I mean, was she old enough to kind of reason like, oh, I just thought it was no, it was literally just kind of throwing things around.
Like three or four. No, like she was painting them with intent.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay.
Yeah. But it's 3 or 4 years old. Like, oh, I wanted to make them pretty and stuff, right? Like,
did your heart just sink when you saw this?
It was a mixture of it sank, but also like
you're like,
she was so cute.
Get out of the hobby and stay away from all the nerds and do it. I don't want you dating those types of boys.
He just started gatekeeping instantly.
Yeah.
You don't want this what's that show? You don't want any part of the shit.
You want none of
Get out
that
of here.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want that, man. Hey, do you guys like women in the hobby? You ever seen a woman in the hobby before? I keep inviting women on the show, and then I keep getting blown off. And I had to settle with having my wife on the show, which was fun. But how do you get women on into 40K? How do you make that happen?
I don't think you need to make it happen. Just let it happen organically.
I agree, and I think it has its own attractions because there are plenty where I'm playing.
Man, so Phoenix is just where it's at. You got like huge hobby places. You got women up there. That's just the place to be.
You just have to deal with so when it's nice out, it's nice out for 4 months, 5 months, you get senior citizens that don't know how to drive and are extremely dangerous.
It's pretty universal, I think.
We have snowbirds here, so it's like full snowbirds. Yeah. And then
but where do you think they're coming from though? Like
Calgary. Your fucking place.
Exactly. So they're with us for 8 months, and then you're complaining about the 4 months they're with you. Come
on. No, Phoenix is good. I will say we are lucky to have, like I've mentioned in our hobby episode. As much as I hate it, we are very, very blessed to have really cool stores here and a really good community for different games and just kind of nerd stuff in general. Like I said, like I could drive 20 minutes in, 20 to 30 minutes in almost any direction and hit a local game store.
Yeah.
It's good.
Nice.
It's good. And like I think Christian said, like we don't need to make, I think there's some aspects of the hobby that we can make more attractive to others. Doesn't matter, what gender or whoever you are. I think there's enough appeal in 40K just to be good. And like, if you like it, if you like the grimdark shit, if you like sci-fi, if you like aliens and robots, like there's something for everybody, I think, not to get all Mr. High and Mighty, but I think our hobby is in a good spot. Overall, there's of course little things that we can tweak, but I think that's more just us as people. I don't think we need to try and like change the game itself, but just represent it in a better way. There, love y'all.
Let it happen and don't treat it as anything too weird.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I've been doing it wrong. I'm learning so much from you guys. So, and what about wearing a shirt? I'm assuming I should be wearing a shirt when I'm trying to induct anyone into 40K. I'm great with guys inducting them; they love it. I roll up, let them slap my belly, and we roll some dice. But women, no, it's a different game.
I'm just a little concerned that I'm seeing sleeves on you right now. Like,
yeah, what happened? Is it really cold down there today?
Honestly, without the batteries, I haven't been able to do laundry too much. We're like full on like 1980s, like rubbing our clothes.
Oh,
yeah.
You got the Amish beard for
1980.
So
yeah, no.
Is that what he said?
No, way back in the day.
Back in the 1980s when we didn't have the electric.
A minute for my brain to catch that date. Yeah.
Oh,
man. Christian, I'm still waiting for something fun. Come on, man. Tell me something fun that we don't know about you. Open up to me for once. We've been friends for years. My life
is an open book. Everyone knows everything there is to know about me. And anything I choose to keep a secret is for very good legal reasons.
Yes. I guess the way to sum you up is like you're like a kid's pool, like very shallow, like not much there. Like just kinda.
That wasn't the direction I thought you were going in, so I'll just
fun to splash around in, but
a lot of pee. There's just a lot of pee everywhere.
A lot of pee.
Oh man. Okay, well, fine.
Just don't drink the water.
Well, let me ask you guys this, because I'm curious. So we were talking like 40K setting. I would say 40K setting is probably not the ideal world that people want to live in. Like whenever you kind of ask like, oh, what fantasy world would you want to live in? And like, oh, 40K to be sick. Like, no, you're dead. You're just dead. Yeah. Like you would hate life.
Your legs. Jeez.
Yeah. So what fictional world would you guys like to reside in? This is our double nerding moment for sure.
I think we're all going to say the same spot, honestly. On a count of 3, let's all say it together.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Middle Earth.
Middle Earth, Lord of the Rings. Okay. Yes. For sure.
Sweet.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So we got our own little ranger company going. We're living in Ithilien together. We're hunting orcs. The odd human.
Yeah. Just every now and then we're just like, we're really bored. And we just see a guy walk by like, get him.
Get him. Those some nice boots you got there. What
describing highway banditry.
What draws you to that? Like what would you want to be? Like where would you want to be born?
I think it's easy for people to go obviously like the heroic, noble, path. Like be a Gondorian warrior, like you said, Mark, like a ranger. But I think it's a lot harder. Like roles like that did exist, or something similar did exist in history. And it would be a lot harder to live your life like that. Like it looks cool on paper, and it looks cool when from as like a story reader that like, oh yeah, the good guys are winning and stuff. But like in the moment, imagine being like a freaking Gondorian getting sieged, in Minas Tirith. Yeah. You're like, this is the worst thing ever. My family lives in this city that's about to get demolished. All my friends are getting killed. Like there's no hope.
But at least you don't have to feel like morally guilty, like in that kind of war, for killing like the baddies,
orcs.
Sure.
Yeah, but again, like there's a risk that you also die. Like again, we're not all Aragorn here. We're Gondorian number 6, like 5 feet down the wall, who gets hit with the freaking catapult rock.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, epic.
Mark still wants it. He's like, put me on that wall.
Put me in, coach.
Yeah, I think taking it from like a Tolkien's perspective, like the Shire is kind of what the peaceful life that he aspired to, that he kind of described as his like upbringing, like rural England is like, and it obviously doesn't have to be rural England, but that peaceful, life is good and happy. You shouldn't wish for war, but when the time does come to stand up, then that's when you do it. But so like if you could choose, I would not choose to live on a battlefield. I'd choose to be safe and peaceful if the options are given to me.
But where would you be safe and peaceful?
The Shire.
Oh, the Shire. Okay, you're going full
until the scouring.
Yeah.
Right, but again, right, you step up when the time comes to step up. That's the whole point of it. But you're not like a warmonger. You're not looking to be a warlord. Otherwise, you're an orc.
I don't know. Mark's ready to fight, man. He's like, bring it on.
I'm like that guy who's like cutting my own hands.
I was gonna say,
dial it down.
Mark, you're the guy in the Battle of Helm's Deep. Like you've wanted to fight all your life, and just it never happened. It just never did. Now you're an old man pulling the bowstring and just aiming at this line of 10,000 Uruk-hai, and you're just like,
even though I have one eye, I'm not gonna miss.
And you just got it. Boom, you get him right in the neck, and that's you.
I die 5 minutes later.
We don't see that. We don't see him die.
That's true.
Most of the people at Helm's Deep, you can assume, are dead once you get to the Hornburg siege.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah. No. That guy made it though.
Yeah,
you know that for a fact.
I think living in Dale would be pretty cool. Maybe Fourth Age Middle Earth stuff would be the coolest, where you're really not dealing with that war stuff. Everything's kind of going into a new golden era. I think Dale and kind of the Erebor area would be cool.
Yeah.
One thing I'd be interested in knowing, like, and I'm sure maybe chat can jump in on this, but like, so Third Age obviously is the most popular for where the events of the Lord of the Rings take place. The elves are leaving Middle Earth. Are they leaving behind their houses? Because I will definitely
move into the.
Okay, so we've gone from like
Rivendell.
Yeah, we've gone from like street brigands to like full on like looters now. I like that.
I'm not looting.
Yeah, we're not.
They're gone.
They didn't put up like for sale sign. I'm reclaiming it. So no, honestly, like when the elves left Middle Earth, they clearly left Rivendell and Lothlorien and all that. So is it just kind of like, yeah, do I get squatters' rights? Like,
yeah.
I don't need all of it. I just want some of it.
I don't need all of it.
I don't need all of it. I just want, give me, you know, part of, like, you guys can live there. That's cool. We can all hang out and it can be a thing. But I just want part of Rivendell, and I want to like do my summers or springtime in Lothlorien. That's it.
It's a nice little vacation homes, you know.
Yeah, that's it.
Travel to and back.
He's a Middle Earth real estate agent. That's the career of all the things you could be.
You know, which is funny because I truly believe real estate agents is like, and I'm sorry if you're listening and are a fan of the show and you're a real estate agent, God love you, but that is like the bottom of the barrel of careers. Like no child goes to career day going, I really want to be a real estate agent.
The funniest thing is they have like their certificate and they think that makes them like intelligent or qualified to like sell a house. They're like, well, I went and got my certificate so I could sell this to you. I'm like,
yeah, look, I'm sure it's a lot of work, but here in
I bought a house in a foreign country where I don't speak the language.
Yeah,
you don't.
Yeah, there you go. You did it. But here in Arizona, like in my area of Phoenix, it is like a dime a dozen. Just they're the Skaven of this area.
Skaven.
Just anyways.
Okay. Yeah, Middle Earth is sweet. I definitely like a lot of it. I wonder if it would have had the same appeal, you know, if I didn't watch it as that like 12-year-old boy, you know. But I think it still would have. It just has so much for everyone. You know, even you watch it with women, that's a lot easier to get women into the Lord of the Rings. Show them a little picture of sexy Aragorn.
It's universal. I don't think you need to dress it up like you keep saying.
You don't need
it's just perfect.
Just good. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Just show them. Look at this.
Yeah, I'm going to be introducing my kids pretty soon. I'm excited.
How old are they, Christian?
Oldest one is 7.
Nice.
Yeah, that's probably.
She's at peak age to watch it, and I've been hyping it up too. I'm like, we're gonna watch this movie. I've shown her like a couple of clips, just like trailer type clips, nothing like that'll give anything away. She's pumped.
Because my daughter's 7, so do you think? And I would have said that it's a too long of a movie to like do one sitting. So would you say like you're gonna try and do the one sitting? You're probably not doing extended release, and then also do you sub question? Do you think that there are scenes in there that you would probably not show your kids because it's too scary?
To answer your first question, yeah, I kind of wrestled with how to start, and I think it's gonna have to be the theatrical cut, unfortunately. You know, that's the version we all watched first.
Yeah.
Like I'm a huge like I can't watch the theatrical anymore once you watch the extended editions. Like it's only extended editions for me. Mm-hmm. But when you're bringing someone new into it, and especially like a child, like the theatrical cuts are made to have the pacing keep their attention.
Yeah.
Whereas once you're grabbed, then you can go, okay, did you know there's even more? And then you can go into the
yes, absolutely.
Just like all of us, right? We didn't know the extended edition even existed until much later.
Right.
So yeah, I think I'll have to go with theatrical cuts first with all the kids. And then I don't think there's anything that's. My younger brother was about the same age when he first saw Lord of the Rings, and he watched it all the way through. He don't think was too badly affected by it.
Small sword fetish now, but
yeah,
no big deal.
Keeps taking house paint and putting on his face like some sort of white hand. I don't know.
Yeah. And like my daughter, she's like, I don't know, pretty morbid sometimes, so I think she'll be okay with the content. It does actually lead to a deeper thought that I have around children and like exposure to media, because that's actually a good discussion point. Mm-hmm. I think that we over infantilize kids, which sounds kind of funny, but in terms of like exposure to like deep content stuff with like deep meaning, things like, you watch like modern kids media, and I do consume it with my kids, right? Like I take them to the movies, we watch different shows, get them different kids books. It's all so dumbed down compared to what kids were exposed to even like 50, 60 years ago. And I don't know that it's good for them. The Hobbit, for example, is a children's book. And like nowadays, like a children's book for that age, it's so simplified, so dumbed down. I don't think it does them any favors. So yeah, I think we've gotten too far on the over coddling of like, oh, don't show your kids like any blood or violence or anyone dying, or and of course there are limits to that. Like I'm not saying go watch Saw with your 5-year-old.
Is this about a seesaw, Daddy?
Yeah.
Well, you do see a saw. So
yeah, but like if you look at children's literature and children's media from even like a long time ago, it is so much different than what stuff today is. And like I said, it's almost like over infantilizing, where you overprotect them from reality to the point that like they don't know how to cope with reality anymore.
That's a good point.
That's my soapbox.
I would say I have a lot of experience in that, in the sense that I'm probably not the best example. I'm 37, so I was like a 90s kid, and I would say Gen X, which is the generation before me, like my good friend Grant, like they had a lot of toys and stuff that came out in the 80s that were geared towards kids, obviously, that were like rated R movies, which was me too. Like in the 90s, like I had all the Terminator action figures. That's a fucking crazy violent movie. Like I had all the Alien and Predator action figures. I still do. I love all that. So like it's funny because my partner and I have a movie wheel of just like all of our childhood movies, like all things that really meant a lot to us, like when we were kids. And mine is filled with like Predator, Aliens, Forrest Gump, The Crow, like things that like are not that a kid
meant for
kids. And truly, like I probably should not have seen, like my dad showed me Chasing Amy when I was like 12 or something, and I thought it was hilarious. But it's a good point, and I think there's like a balance, like you're saying. But I would bet there's a lot of people that can relate to, like, especially 90s, where it was like there was a lot of things focused on you media wise that was really meant for an older age, but they catered to you kind of in a way of like, here's action figures for a rated R. Here's an action figure for a movie you're not allowed to see. Like you are legally not allowed to buy a ticket for this movie. Here's a toy.
That actually speaks to a crazy phenomenon too. A lot of those movies also had cartoon spin-offs that were meant for kids, which is wild. They had like the RoboCop cartoon, freaking Conan the Barbarian cartoon. You go watch RoboCop right now and tell me that like a child could watch that movie. Even the opening, like him getting shot to pieces. Like and exactly, it was marketed. They had these like children's spin-offs for like R-rated movies, which is like nuts. So there is a balance. Like I said, like let's not get too crazy the other direction, but I do think we've overcorrected as a society on the softer side, where like your kids are watching really repetitive, not mind enhancing or fulfilling junk a lot of the times now that has no risks. There's nothing in it that teaches them any kind of lessons or nothing. It's just content just pumped into their little brains. Whereas, like I said, like back in the day, like look at children's literature from like the 1800s, like what's considered children's lit. Adults struggle to read now, right?
Yeah.
Like it just, I think again, we've gone, and that's it's more than just the violence and that kind of content. It's also like deep thoughts about like life and death and like truth and philosophy and all kinds of other big ideas that you can start exploring at a younger age. That I think is good.
Lupercal says most TVs nowadays is mind-numbing shit meant to keep us controlled. Yeah, literally just meant to plop your kid down in front of it and just keep them zonked on it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm talking about, right? Like that's not good for your kid's brain either. It's turning them to Jello.
Like the tablet generation, just kind of like, all right, here you go.
Yeah.
Put your tablet.
Yeah.
I will say this though, there is one beacon of hope and redeeming piece of media that I indulge in damn near every day, and it is soul fulfilling. Gentlemen, are you ready to experience Bluey? Bluey is the fucking shit. Bluey is awesome. I've cried in 99% of those episodes that I watch because they just hit me. They hit me in such a good place. And so, yeah, the chat is going off right now. Like Lupercal is like the Bluey and Liar Bluey, Fuzz Bluey's the
funny.
So when I was a kid, I was watching The Crow and Forrest Gump and Aliens, and now as an adult, I'm watching Bluey. It is the other way around, and I'm fine with it.
You've regretted.
I've just switched back.
No, I've heard a lot of good things, but that's the thing. Bluey does encounter a lot of challenging and deeper subject matter that normally kids shows don't even go anywhere near, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about the others just because I haven't seen many, but
you don't watch all kids cartoons.
I mean, my son, like, I showed him clips from Evil Dead, and he thought that was cool. I showed him clips from The Thing, and he thought that was a little too much. But I showed him clips from like the old school Dracula, all about it. So I wasn't like, maybe I did a little bit too much of like what my dad did for me. Like, hey, you want to watch this old movie? So
you want to get desensitized?
Yeah. So.
You ever watch Platoon?
You want to know what war is like?
Oh my god. That's so
yeah. Again, there is a balance somewhere to be found. I think it's up to parents to actively raise their kids and figure it out for themselves. But one note too on the Predator Aliens franchise there. Did you watch the new animated Predator series that came out?
I have not yet. It's definitely on my list. I'm intrigued. I had a buddy of mine said it was very good, and he's like hardcore fan, so I feel a little bit like, okay, I don't have to be totally afraid that this is going to suck. I don't know. What about you guys?
I enjoyed it. I'll to keep you
chalk it up
from any spoilers. That's where I'll leave it at. Is I enjoyed it, and I'm pretty critical of modern stuff now. So,
Mark, are you a big Aliens Predator fan guy?
It's not that I don't like it. It's not that I haven't seen a couple of the movies. I've just been consumed by 40K.
You literally cannot think about anything else.
Literally, man, it's like, it's like if I'm doing like fantasy thinking, man, it's always 40K, and it always kind of has been. And Lord of the Rings will creep in there every now and again, but yeah, man, obsessed.
What was your first, like, did you have like kind of a fantasy outlet before 40K?
No, like
like kind of Lord of the Rings, but like
but not even really though. Like,
really?
I grew up religious and like super religious, man, like culty religion, like Pokemon Pocket Demons not allowed. When Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow came out, I don't know, we would have been like probably 10, 11, 12-ish, whatever. Wasn't allowed to play those games, man, even at that age,
man.
So basically I didn't have any. So then when I finally did like get a kick of any type of fantasy, it was 40K pretty much for the first time. And yeah, that was like, because like
it's like going from nothing to pure heroin.
Yeah, honestly, that's what it was like, man. Because like even like we couldn't watch Saturday morning cartoons. Like there was none of that shit, man. Like I grew up in like a fucking cult mentality mindset. Yeah. Like you can be Christian, and then my parents took it to another level of just locking it down. Maybe it was just the 90s. You know, Christians nowadays seem a little more reasonable, but yeah.
I would say
that satanic panic from the 90s got
it was.
That was definitely an overreaction by a lot of people. Like, you know, I wasn't locked down like you, Mark, but obviously I grew up. You know, I am a Christian. My parents are Christian. We grew up in a Christian household, but my dad had always been very what's the word? Like he's a free thinker. He's not like, you know, we watched a lot of war and history movies. He exposed us to Lord of the Rings really early. Like he wasn't in that whole mindset, like, you know,
open-minded.
Yeah, you know, like he there was definitely a what's it called when there's like a moral panic around a lot of stuff. That was just it's insane even by like me, like looking back at like what was that?
Yeah. But
yeah, I think you guys are right. And Mark, you brought it up, like the satanic panic. I think like our generation kind of was like the last tail end of that. Like it really was big in the 80s, and more so like early 80s, late 70s, when D&D kind of was a big thing and came out. And I mean, you could see it in the media too, with like, if you really want a fun watch, okay, listeners, if you've never seen what's it called, Mazes and Monsters with Tom Hanks, go watch it. So it is a made for TV movie that stars Tom Hanks and a few others, and it's basically propaganda from like it's a very like Tipper Gore propaganda movie of Dungeons and Dragons is bad and here's why. And so Tom Hanks plays a guy that really gets into mazes and monsters, which is not D&D. And he and his buddies like start playing it and they're really loving it. So they kind of like start LARPing it a little bit. And they don't use the term LARP because it really, I don't think that it was prevalent back then, but they start like going around the city and like in their in the basement of like their school and playing it. And like he's seeing it, like he's seeing the dragon that he's like casting fireball on, and he's getting crazy. And to the point where I don't know if I want to spoil it, but I will say this.
Don't
like,
spoil it.
I won't
You're
spoil
painting
it.
it in a good
really
light, though.
Thinks it's real, and his friends have to kind of be like, come back to reality, bud.
How many Christian, have you had to drag me out of the ledge like that over the years? Come back, Mark.
Pun, because spoiler alert, I will say.
Oh man.
So
hold on, is that movie like is it supposed to be taken seriously, or is it kind of like lampooning the idea that
it was it was made out of like seriousness, I'm pretty sure, because it's dark. It's pretty dark.
It's a fantasy thriller, if that helps you at all.
What's that one that's like the weed panic too, where like people are treating it like it's cocaine, or that propaganda film?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Is it the old black and white
Reefer
one?
Madness? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it like Reefer Madness, where it's like D&D will destroy your life? Don't start.
It's more.
You won't be able to tell what's real anymore.
It's more subtle than that, because it is a movie, like it's a made for TV movie. So it's not like propaganda in the sense of like, would you like to know more? Like Starship Troopers kind of thing. But it's definitely like there's a heavy message, and someone doesn't like D&D.
Fucking guy, jeez.
Yeah. So I didn't grow up with that part, but like my mom threw away my CDs that had like the parental advisory sticker on it. So like when I was like 10, getting into Korn and Limp Bizkit and all that stuff, like she threw away all those. Which the irony is, a few years ago she was listening to like Ice Cube in the car with me, like. And TLC and like I think she had like NWA on. I was like, I love this. This is so great.
Your mom grew up in Compton or something?
I don't know. She was like really into like the 90s kind of like hip hop stuff. Yeah, actually, now that I look back,
that's
I'm like,
so
my mom
funny.
was kind of on the forefront of it.
Was my mom a gang?
I know. Like, hang on. But yeah, she threw away all that stuff, and I wasn't allowed to watch like MTV or VH1 for a good time, and yeah, so there was a little bit of that. And so when Warhammer came around, and Mark, I'm sure it's the same for you, it was like I was just old enough to kind of like make my own decisions ish. I was like 15 when I got into 40K, and it was just grim dark enough to be really interesting to me, like, oh, this is sick, and not overly grim dark enough to be like, that's of the devil. So
perfect middle ground.
Yeah, it was a good middle ground.
Yeah, that's what 40K is known for, a nice middle ground.
Reasonable.
Oh man,
reason will prevail.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, Warhammer is crazy. I did the one episode with my wife there the other day, and she's always just so blown away with like how much fucking stuff there is. It's just endless amount. I think that's the thing too with 40K, that just like Lupercal was saying, he doesn't like stray too far from 40K. I don't either. There's just so much there that like even after all this time, I still haven't read it all. So it's like I just got to keep reading until I'm done.
When you're done, you can finally put it away.
Yeah, then I can move on to something else. But until then, I'm kind of stuck. Yeah.
So you've consumed all the lore.
Yeah.
Are there any pieces?
First one to read it all.
Let me ask you guys this: are there any pieces of lore that you wish remained? Like if you could take the answer away and leave it more ambiguous, you would have liked that? Or are there any pieces where you're like, I you know what? I really wish they would just answer this. Like what would you change? Not completely, but just like, ooh, this would have been cooler if it was more mysterious, or this would be better if we had some answers.
I'm definitely glad we know the reason why Ultramarine Sergeants paint their helmets red. Really hyped that we got that piece of information. Came from a character in 30K, you know, he's a sergeant, blah, blah, blah. Great story. Fantastic read. Very, very useful piece of information. So definitely keep that in there because that's gold. You know,
I can't tell if you're serious. I have to speak for the people on this and just say I have no idea if you're serious, because I know we've talked about it for a moment.
Yeah, no, that's a real thing, man. I don't know.
No, I know. Do you like it?
Yeah, but do you like
That's
it?
the question. Yeah,
I like all of 40K, man. I'm like shove it in my throat. Even if I don't like it, I'll gurgle it. You like, give it to me, man. Just
oh, man.
Force feed me. Yeah, I don't know. Do you guys have an answer or thought off the top of your head? I'm struggling to come up with one that's not just like Primaris.
I wasn't so thrilled with Horus in like getting into his mind in the Horus Heresy series. I think the whole Horus Heresy series could have been better executed. It feels like they started with the goal in mind. It was probably more profitable than they realized. They decided to drag it out as much as possible. I think if it was done more cohesively with like a more direct endpoint, you can still tell all your side stories, but like as addendums, not as part of the mainline release.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest flaw with all of it is finally getting into Horus's head. The whole towards the end there, especially when he's like, there's questions about whether or not it's even Horus, like he's possessed, but then he takes his body back, and then it loses a lot of the impact of what was set up originally.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they tried to make Horus really have a good reason to not trust the Emperor, be upset with the direction that the Imperium is taking, question the ideals of the Emperor. You know, all those things were set up, and then they were just kind of discarded. And then we went full blown like, is that even Horus in there anymore? Like, what is he? And if it's not Horus and it's like more on the demon side, then it completely ruins like that final duel. It ruins any kind of emotional impact of like, no, this is the Emperor's son who rebelled.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of what they did with Horus just seemed super sloppy. You know, you have really cool, and again, I've said this before, I love the fallen hero archetype. Like I love Anakin Skywalker, Arthas Menethil. That is a fantastic story. That is a fantastic character archetype that you can do. But the way they did it with Horus was just an absolute travesty.
I haven't read deep into the series enough. I'm only like 3 books into the Horus Heresy, so it's still at like a really...
Oh boy, you got a lot of work to go.
And I don't know if I'm ever going to, because like it kind of feels that way, because I just kind of don't want to learn more and have the, not like the mystique spoiled, but just like, I think it was, you know, it began as a blurb. Like it was just kind of mentioned in passing in like the rule book. And then they, like you said, they just continued to flesh it out, which was cool. But yeah, you're right to a point. Like if we were to look at Anakin, like clawing his way up, legless, like burnt like a fucking French fry that's been in the oven too long, you know, and he's screaming, "I hate you," which you feel. But if you were just to say like, no, that's just like Palpatine's influence, like he's possessing him at this moment. Like it's gone. It's gone. So
I always picture me and Christian in that scene, honestly, and we flip sides who's in the lab and who's not.
I was gonna ask,
you are my brother, Christian. But I know that's how it's gonna end.
Every time we argue about something 40K, it's the end of the friendship.
Yeah,
we just can't go on.
Ooh. Okay. New question. What do you guys not agree on in 40K? What is something that you guys have fought over that you're like, no, that's stupid. You're wrong.
Okay, here's a good one, and it's petty and it's stupid. Gravis armor. Christian was a firm believer that Gravis was the new Terminator armor, and we argued. But no, they made Terminator armor for Primaris Marines, so suck it, Christian.
That is true. That is my. Okay, hold on. Backing up a little bit. When they first released Primaris, there was a very pixelated shot that leaked before, like, even the rumors of Primaris existing ever happened. There's like a super pixelated picture of a Primaris Marine, and like it sent the Warhammer community like buzzing. Like, what is this? People are like arguing like, no, it's just like someone's conversion on their desk. No, it's real. They're gonna release like true scale Space Marines. Like, just it was so pixelated, you could not. It was not very clear, but all you could see is like a big Marine.
Yeah, it was worse in my camera settings. It
was hard to see. But I was like telling Mark, dude, they're gonna make true scale Space Marines. This is official. They're gonna look something like the Mark. Yeah. What is it? The Mark IV Maximus armor. I'm like, and I was like pointing at the pixels, trying to show Mark, and we bet a Mama Kill over it.
Oh, you brought some Lord of the Rings into this as a wager.
Yeah, Games Workshop Mama Kill. Yeah. Which I still haven't gotten, by the way.
No, but
the community was very divided. Like, is this some guy?
I just remember just saying GW would never upgrade the models and make me get rid of all my old models. They would never do that to me. I was young.
Said that? Oh, you said that.
Yeah, I was young and naive.
GW cares about me. They said I've spent enough money. Yeah.
They only have my best interests at heart.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So anyways, when that happened, I was pretty high on my confidence. And they only really... Okay, the big thing that sold me as aggressors being the new Terminators was the fact that they released Marinus Calgar in aggressor armor. Marinus Calgar, upgrading from Terminator to aggressor, to me signaled that, okay, that's it. Like, aggressors are the new Terminators. Really dumb though that they did come out. Okay, well, I have mixed feelings because now that they have true scale Marines, you need true scale Terminators to go with the Marines.
Of course, naturally.
But now that you have aggressor armor, you don't need Terminator armor anymore. So the way I do it is I separate all Terminators go with old Marines, all aggressors are with new Marines. I shall not cross the two. There are no Primaris and Terminator armor. That would be dumb. That's how I sort it out and mentally deal with my anguish. But
we all have our own ways to try to sleep at night, and yeah.
Why? I don't understand. Okay, also the whole idea of the 3 suits of power armor: the Phobos, the Tacticus, and the not aggressor. What do you call that one?
The Gravis.
Gravis armor. Technically, they have like around the same armor saves on the table. Like, why would you ever, if you can get the same protection and the same mobility, why would you ever wear the heavier armor? That doesn't make sense to me at all. So, like, you deck everyone out in Phobos armor. The Tacticus looks the coolest, but like, why would you ever deck everyone out in Tacticus armor if you have Phobos armor available to you? If your car is like lighter, faster, more gas mileage, has the exact same armor value as a car that has half of,
which I do look for in my cars. I do check for the car's armor value.
Yeah, if you get shot at, you want to know if they'll survive.
Yeah.
But like, why would you ever intentionally handicap yourself?
Let me ask you another question. But like, why would you ever make Primaris Marines? Like, we've entered insanity territory.
The regular Marines. That's true, and that's where I kind of accept it. I'm like, you know what? They already screwed it up. Let's just roll with this.
Court,
Nothing makes sense anymore.
I got a better one, a good answer for you.
Okay.
You asked, what mystery have they answered that you wish they left hidden?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna submit the Grey Knight gene seed mystery. For many, many years, we didn't know what that gene seed was, where it came from, and it was rumored to come from the Emperor, but we never knew. But now we know it is actually the Emperor's gene seed, and I feel like that's kind of just like it opens up the box of questions of, okay, the Emperor has gene seed now, and like, when did he do that? How did he do that? Like,
why did he do that?
Why not just use your gene seed for all of them? Like, why bother me? Like, yeah. So that's my submission for you.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. That's solid, because I remember that rumor, and it made it cool to like Grey Knights that way and to like play them and stuff. And it was like, oh, we might be a little bit more chosen. And then now it kind of is, but it doesn't feel as special, because it's like, logistically, why wouldn't you just do that for everything?
Yeah, why didn't we start with the Grey Knights if we had this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I my very first kind of army or box set was Tau, and then I went into Grey Knights, and I think I actually paid you, Christian, to paint all my Grey Knights for me.
Still working on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll get you that, Mama Q, when you finish my Grey Knights, you son of a bitch.
Nice.
Yeah, so I remember when they changed that, I was not too pleased, like, because that mystery, man, 40K does that mystery so well. You asked what me and Christian probably argue about, and I feel like when we were younger, we argued a lot more about Primarchs and just who could beat up who. But now we know everything, so we don't have to argue anymore.
Which sucks. Yeah. Arguments were part of the fun.
Yeah. Well, boys, that's a nice little bonus episode, I think. I think that shit has been shot. I like chatting. It's been fun doing these kind of non-standard episodes. I do have episodes written up, and we are ready to go. I think tomorrow, I will have the cojones, the courage to do another main episode, and it's going to be Rack Ghoul. So it should be pretty fun. You guys got any closing thoughts?
I've got 2 fun bonus episodes in the pocket, pretty much ready to go, and I'm going to tease them a little bit just to our listeners. So we kind of mentioned it. We mentioned a little bit in a previous episode, but I've been just pouring over and loving Morkborg, which is actually Merkborg. But yeah, Morkborg, so good. I've got Pirate Borg. I'm running that this weekend with good friends. But so I think what we're going to do on the show is I'm going to write a custom 40K style Morkborg, which there already is one that someone did, and big ups to them. I don't remember their name, sorry, but it's called Grimdark Millennium, and it only takes you so far, so I'm going to take pieces of that, but we're going to run, I think, on the show like a bit of a one-shot, small, maybe couple sessions, and get you guys playing some of this in a 40K setting. We're going to do that. That's going to be a fun bonus episode. And then the other one is we did Adeptus Triviarum, but I'm going to do one, I think, where I want to host kind of like a fun questions night, and it's not like right or wrong answers. I will be judging, of course, as I do.
I will be judging you,
I will be judging. But we'll do things like I'm gonna take maybe a famous celebrity and then pop them up on the video here and just say it for the listeners as well. And you have to tell me what faction they might go in 40K. Like I'm just gonna spoil one right off the bat. I'll throw in David Bowie. David Bowie is 100% Eldari. That dude,
not a Sound Marine, eh?
No. That he may be even a Harlequin, maybe, but he's a Starman. He's a Starman for sure. So I think David Bowie would be Eldari.
Well, then maybe he's a Satan. I took it too far. I'm sorry. Dial it back.
I don't know. Maybe in some eras, some Bowie eras, he could have been a Satan. But we'll do something like that, and then we'll do, maybe I'll have you guys argue on which chapter can beat up which other chapter, and then I'll just.
Now we're talking.
There it is. So we'll do a fun little fun questions kind of episode. So yeah,
fuck yeah. Just going back real quick before we end it. Liar says, and I'm assuming this is how he said it, why didn't you just make an army of Primarch? Nah, my heresy. He probably said it something like that. And because they're made for something else, man, and they're not batch producible, and you don't want a bunch of super soldier children like that running around. You know, you want super soldier grandchildren running around. It's obvious.
It's right there in the book. Read a book, man.
Read the book.
I'll follow anything Liar says. I just like, yep. Yeah. Liar says it. It's canon. Whatever.
Oh man, cool. Well, guys, thanks for listening. We'll see you all on the next episode. Adios.